Texas. I mean, looking at this lineup right now, they have looked unbelievable in the online stage. This is a team who has already been to a grand final in this game. They are looking towards dominance during this weekend, and what better start than to go up against a team at Toronto Core.
All right, they need no introduction, but please, Birmingham, keep that noise going for Duke, Shotzi, Mercules, and Dashi. Ooh, we've got so much noise. Toronto Core!
There's two options on the table here. It could be a fall from grace or a rise back to the top. Kleenex and Inside have spent so many tournaments making it to Sunday, getting to finals, and they have the roster to do it. They just have to put it together. But they gotta go through the green wall, who they just played recently, and it was off to a pretty tough start. Something tells me they're gonna put up a better fight today.
Here are your players. Kleenex, Birmingham, it's your British boy, it's Inside! By his side, we have Kips, and we have Joe Thieves. So you've heard it there. Birmingham feels like they haven't quite picked a side just
Now they're soaking. Yeah, that's just break off 101 right there for OpTic. Toronto will still spawn towards the P2 side, desperately needing recovery. You see it on the top-hand side. The last time these two teams played, it was tight. So getting off to a hot start would be key for Koi. Right now, they're just playing a little bit of pickup, though, just trying to find some sort of a look at P1. A lot of it shut down through couches, and now Hook's on the route and trying to flip spawn.
Yeah, but they had mid-connector, and it's Kleenex able to line up a double there, so you get the break for a little bit of time, but you still have the spawns that you want over towards P2. Shotzi also phenomenal, starts sitting at 5-1, has the info onto Kiss, but at least sets up Dashi for the kill. OpTic just need to get in towards P2 now.
Yeah, big win here potentially for either side. Hook joins the effort though as Dashi's off the regen. Outer, that's a good win from Kleenex on 2. Help is inside with Joe Thieves. Again, he was slow starting versus Surge, and Shotzi has no intention of letting him hate up. Already finding 2, keeping both sides at bay, but Joe keeping himself in the hard point, has Toronto still spawning close for quick reinforcement.
Yeah, big moment there for the way out. You are creating that extra layer through the front door. No one hard blocks the back, but on your second attempt, you're right back in with a clean 4 dead. So only one player on this side. It's going to be Kips. Looking for a one-on-one gunfight. He's able to find it onto Shotzi, but his teammates are still not in the play yet.
Yeah, Dashi zoning out the rooftops means that this hit for Toronto is staggered and scattered, and all 4 players for Koi will fall. Now it's time to take the hit on the chin, rotate over to P3, and even that will lead to split spawns. OpTic in a moment of concentration, trying to work their way through Dojo, but Kleenex holds the line for a key double.
And Shotzi knows that there is this potential at a split spawn here, so he's just going to camp in towards lockers, have another one-on-one gunfight go his way, and now with your teammates spawning on this side, you know all of Core are going to be over towards Dojo. So you have the numbers, got to hit a stunner and a
better in the start here on the Den. Able to shut down a couple of OpTic members. Dashi is the last one left alive outside the play as OpTic are looking for routes.
Yeah, so far, fantastic hold here from Koi because you're forcing OpTic to be a little bit uncomfortable. Consistently trying to break through the middle of the map. You go 3 for 1 in the trade fight. Joe Thieves cleans up Mercules again, so you have an opportunity to take the lead plus some here if you're Koi.
Yeah, and I think, again, the big key is, yes, Toronto can keep things scrappy inside of things like a P3, but it's really about can they dominate on a setup as we look over towards 4. The final battle for scrap time, though, echoes on in front of Dojo. Joe Thieves just looking for an angle off the mid-cut, able to find 1 damage into the second, but the side of the wall plays a bit of a factor, leaving Kleenex now fighting for his life inside pillars.
And Shotzi already finds a gunfight over at the new hard point, so you got to play slower if you're on Koi to try to hold down these dragon spawns, or at least allow Joe Thieves to be into the play, but Hoop the nuke
value his life, and OpTic continue to stagger the respawns as they continue to find stray kills.
Yeah, now you're forcing Koi to just funnel one way all the way through the back doors. Crossfires are set up, trophies are now into play, and Dashi on 5 in a row, locking it down with the M15. Koi just need to get some kind of time off of this, and Kips wins that one-on-one, at least gets OpTic for now.
Out of this, still out though for Dashi. May as well be an SMG for him, but Kips wins that battle, and that will be scrap time. So again, just looking at the narrative and the feeling about this opening rotation, felt like OpTic were dominating. Koi only down a couple of points though, lucky to still be in it. Now it's just time to clean up the micro moments.
Yeah, the P3 was the answer for Koi, keeping themselves into this mix. Now OpTic looking to make those adjustments into the second half, but they're losing all the gunfights off the rotation. You have couches somewhat secured if you are Koi, but you're more focused on soaking up the time.
I mean, how inspiring is that if you're Koi and you're looking at Kip up now by 8 points? Unbelievable recovery for Toronto as now Joe Thieves is starting to carry the spotlight for him as he's on 4 in a row. One more is Hook, but no. Trade not officially there yet, but Kip's nade will take care of it. And Toronto, all the meanwhile, still inside the time.
Yeah, Shotzi's flip spawn now. Potentially, it needs to be a big-time play. He works his way through rooftops, takes off that pressure off at the time, but it's still Koi in control of the spawns and in control of the map. You're losing every single fight now. If you're OpTic, this is not good.
Yeah, just Joe in that takeover MVP style mode right now. Insight, a bit of a slow start of his own right, but again, Toronto will still get a couple of players to try to defend against this hit towards P2. Kleenex, the first one up, doesn't win the gunfight versus Shotzi, and simultaneously Kips falls inside the hill. OpTic will win the rotation to have the setup.
Doing Shotzi thing, OpTic still in the time.
Joe Thieves needs to get on the Morse code machine here and just start throwing the SOS out. He needs some help. He is doing everything for Toronto. There's just not a follow-up yet. Kips and Insight really struggling right now, but if they can find a couple of kills to clean up this hit from OpTic, it would lead towards some good time for Toronto. Merc still holding the outside, wins the first battle. Wants more as he's doing up with Shotzi, and from the front, OpTic secure a break.
Basically a flawless hold there from OpTic from the front side. Gives themselves a nice little comfortable lead going over towards P3, but you're not going to have the numbers, so the Nuke has his hands full, looking for the opening kill, at least stalls time for Mercules to somehow away, work his way through mid-cut. Now the Nuke is going to strike, looking for kill number 2. Rotation now secured by OpTic.
And he's going to get the stun check over on the Kleenex. Doesn't win that battle. No immediate trade nearby, but you are stuck up creek without a paddle if you're Kleenex. So isolation comes through. Toronto trying to pinch from the front simultaneously, though. Now Shotzi's got the read, but gets pushed off. Maybe a chance here with these mid spawns for Toronto. Just
30 seconds remaining at the P3. All of Koi have been forced to just bombard their way through Cobble every single time. Every single long route over to the backside of Dragon has getting cut down, and now this is a flawless hold from OpTic. A chance to go from P2 to P3 with basically uncontested time, but Koi at the right time. Break in for the 20. Now OpTic need to hold their irons, lock down this side of the map so they have the rotation to know.
Good first win from Shotzi. That shuts down the exit through mid. Joe, the only one through, if you want to call it that, is he's going to try to threaten the front. It's all about timing here as Toronto are still waiting to assert some, at least pressure towards the backside of Dojo. They will get a kill out of Kips, and Mercules cannot pick which direction he wants to look. So now Dash is in trouble. Spawners are still up for the moment, though, for OpTic. Do everyone spawn in? Yes, they do. Hook now back into the hard point, and everything's going to get cleaned up for OpTic. Huge moment for OpTic Texas.
That's fantastic plays from OpTic, even when Joe Thieves strikes quickly and now light up the kill feed with everyone else. 30 seconds remaining at this HP. All of Koi forced to break through rooftops, and finally Kleenex finds the opening.
You need something out of Kips at Insight. They are 16 and 42 combined right now. You cannot beat OpTic 2 versus 4, but Toronto is still hanging in. Another lifeline. But nicks another life out of the Cat's 9, because at the moment, Toronto is still just barely clawing to stay in this match.
And now with the leader's advantage, you can start to work on some of these long routes, but you are getting caught in those positionings. Shotzi works his way through couches, allows Mercules to spawn right near him. So Joe Thieves, he's thinking, I'm going to be crystal clear on the backside of Broken, but here comes the pressure.
First win. Wow, Shotzi just zooms up the steps. Joe can't quite lock it down, but nearby. Insight trying to finesse Dance, trying to get any damage he possibly can. Decent tracking, but Shotzi's just a little bit too quick. Joe is slow, should be traded, and OpTic secure another break.
Toronto just losing all the map control because Shotzi is just getting lost. Double positive, another 5 spree. And OpTic still soaking up a majority of this P1 time. You do that a little bit too aggressive, so Koi have an opportunity with one player to at least spawn over towards House to get you off at a time, which leads to the break. So Koi, even though they're getting heavily outslayed, they're only down 20.
Yeah, somehow, some way, but we're getting into crunch time, and we cannot have players nearly triple negative for Toronto. Kleenex and Joe are doing everything. They don't make JanSports big enough, though, to carry through OpTic, you would think, especially with a couple of straight kills coming through as June as P2 opens. That will clear the floor. Now OpTic have win condition in the form of the hill.
All 4 dead, layers being pushed out, back spawns are being blocked. You now have gained all the information that Koi are going to bombard their way through the front, but they do find the lead break for Koi.
But Mercules still alive, lots of damage in. Toronto will still get a couple of players to contest from the front. You need to show up of your Kips at Insight. Kips able to find one. Insight bounced out of the hill though. Close spawns for OpTic. Can you out-trade this if you're Koi? Nice little slide out from Joe, able to find himself a second. The pitch from CleanX involved, and Kips is now showing up 3 in a row. Toronto looking good for the scrap as OpTic are spawning all the way out, and they're going to be split, rotating to 3.
The fact that Koi are still in this game with the stat lines that you see, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Kips and Insight, can you have a big moment? Oh, rotation, and the young buck is starting to bark now, 5 in a row.
And he could possibly get a Hellstorm, and he's able to get the win versus Dashy. All he needs is some hard point time. What a resource a Hellstorm could be for Toronto. Stunned right now of the fact that Koi are taking the lead. It's a 2v4 essentially. Kips are not still able to get the Hellstorm shut down before he can earn it, and OpTic have numbers to break.
Yeah, who's the nuke? Finds a double through mid-cut. Now you alleviate all of that pressure from that side of the map. You push out over towards Dojo, and you are trading effectively. You can still win the game here if you are OpTic Texas. Koi gonna give it another push through Dojo.
And you know where the hit is coming from if you're OpTic. Mercules taking a lot of damage, instantly traded out. Hoop right behind him for 2. Doesn't predict the third. Joe, the last one left alive, has to jump in to find the final 2 OpTic members, and he will be pushed out. Can Kips get there to contest? No, he's not going to. It's going to be map number 1 to OpTic. Kips able to at least find first blood. Again, can Toronto hold that advantage? No! Mercules just dives on into the fray, comes away with 2, and it's a 3v2 for OpTic.
You know, both players from Koi all the way across the map, so do we decide to get the objective down or continue to play the ring around the rosy game? We'll just wait until we gather some information, because it's already been 30 seconds, and Koi have yet to show face.
But they have to check something at some point, though. And it looks like OpTic are waiting to catch any information, as you mentioned, before they can commit to either site or playing for kills. Toronto re-wrapping back over to A, and in that moment, OpTic are going to jump out money window and plan at B.
Yeah, to get to control, Mercules is watching all of the map. He's working himself on the ace. 1v3 left up to Insight.
Now Insight currently a little bit stuck over towards water steps. Merc focus staying here to see if he can catch all 4. And whoa, dashing here is Toronto. Look for the early plant. Hoop just kind of sliding underneath the angles at bar. Will be shut down, but Dashy responds with one of his own 3v3, and then a gunfight off screen for Shotzi comes out as Dashy somehow finds CleanX on the exit, I believe. But there's Joe. Last one left for the 1v3. A little bit stuck, and he will be chased.
If I'm OpTic, I'm not going to give him a chance. We're going to send both players to commit on the gunfight, and Dashy at least stays alive to set up Mercules for that final. But Koi got the first blood. They had the post-plant scenario, but somehow, some way, OpTic are able to force.
This is taking so much time. Under 30 to play. First blood to Mercules. Almost able to pistol up for another, but CleanX responds. But down to 20 seconds to fight. You've got to make a move, and how do you? There's just nowhere to go. Shots onto CleanX will keep him held back. He's the last one now standing, and round's over. OpTic's going to go up 3-0.
Man, Toronto need to make some very quick adjustments, my friend. Because there's no way OpTic are going to go to the same thing that worked in round number 1, and it's actually way better than it was in round number 1. Because at least you had 2 players from Koi contesting
looking for some vacancy to plant.
They're trapped. They don't really have an angle to get this bomb down. Your best bet is to do it towards launcher, but now CleanX is going to be contested on the backside. There's only 30 seconds remaining on the round, and we have yet to think about the objective. Mercules finds the first shots. He finds the second 4v2.
Dude, it's just like little jabs on one side, uppercut on the other. Little jabs on one side, uppercut on the other, and Toronto just cannot get their feet under them in any form on this map. Wow. They are getting battered.
Bro, that's so tough if you are Koi. And that's
some late nades. How they want to try to manipulate the map from there.
Yeah, best defensive look so far here from Koi. But OpTic have already gathered that information and are slowly going to work their way still over towards this B site. Don't throw a shoulder that can potentially cost you, and you do at least you make it count if you're CleanX. You find one, Joe gets the trade, numbers still in favor of Koi.
Shotzi in some trouble, able to keep alive for a while, but not long enough. Dashy, decision to be made here, sitting on 5 in a row, close to a Hellstorm, but tries to poke out maybe to find the 6th kill, not going to work out, and as you called, Toronto, best defensive look so far, and it works out for him.
Yeah, and it was all because of the pace change up. You don't give a one-sided.
No, you got to be careful if you're Insight right now. He's looking to play off of a very late flank, but Hook has read that, and now the long side of the map has been erased. And look at the full flood. CleanX in some trouble here. Whoa, shaky trying to finish off the first kill. Hook gets a second, Mercules a third. Last one left is Kips. And 1v3 this far away from the bomb. He would need to do something special, and that's just not going to happen. OpTic 5-1 up.
Man,
it's a staple.
And this is very easy now if you are OpTic, because all we need to do is just back them down over towards Laundry. We could potentially plant it for the middle of the map, but Shotzzy gives up his positioning, gets first blooded.
Wow.
Now in a man down, you got to make up for it. Thankfully, you got Mercules 3v3 still.
He's still throwing shoulders at 10 HP. Who gets one more over through Laundry side? Mercules, of course, aware of the potential threat on the flank. Puts himself in a bit of a corner. Joe sees Dashy. Dashy sees Joe.
Gotta get out.
And he's like, I'm out of here. I'm not trying to fight that. And OpTic are just going to play this backside. Laundry and Mercules is just hanging around, finds Kips, and now you know where Joe is. So just make sure he doesn't peek you while you plan, and you've got a 3v1.
Bomb's going to go down. Joe deceives that you have yourself a vintage moment to potentially bail your team out. You do not. And it's Mercules putting the finishing touches there on the search to destroy.
Dashy just needs to stay alive, and Shotzzy should be able to open up the middle of the map, but all of a sudden, you got Toronto opening space, and they should just score at A here.
That's a perfect break off there for your
Okay.
boy. The name hits there for Shotzzy, but everyone else drops like dominoes there for Toronto. And they get the first one on the board very quickly. This is exactly what we saw them do versus Vancouver.
Yep.
Wait for your teammates to slate back over towards the reset. Now we got 2 kills going our way. Thankfully, you captured it when you did.
Because you recognize the outer panels, easier said than done. EMP spawns, immediately grabbed by Merc, and now Hook has joined the party, and this is going to be a quick counter capture. There's just no way Insight fights up against this. So a solid break off from Toronto, but the re-attack for OpTic, I would say arguably better than Insight, but cannot find the shots to take him out of commission. Dashy looking for the trade. Another tough battle, though, as Insight just keeps dancing. So the seeds right there for support. Now Toronto have the numbers and the damage in to try to force this into B. Defense going to get here, though. The Shotzzy is able to get off the reject and find the EMP carrier. Toronto still trying to force this all the way through, though. Insight on forward row, just dives on forward. Can you get the pinch off? Joe! Able to find one, but not the second. Hook will save the day. Now OpTic in control.
What a goal line stop there from OpTic, and it's all due to Shotzzy just finding that 1 kill.
Hercules, another, and that's enough for OpTic to get their second.
That's just unbelievable finesse out of Hook and Dashy. Show presence one way. All right, we're going to stay at mid-cut for a little bit, keep Toronto on that side of the map, and then with our numbers, just bombard our way over towards that A point. Now up by 1 with 40 seconds left to go. Coit had the EMP in their possession. They're quickly trying to add one to the tally, but it's only CleanX. Farthest player pushed up, you got to wait.
Yep. Now a little bit of extra damage really forces him to reconsider that play. So now with the clock starting to fade, urgency starting to step up really for both teams. 20 seconds until potential overtime. OpTic with the numbers around P2, but Kips able to even things back up again. Shotzzy working over the top, trying to find kills with Dashy, but Toronto have grabbed the EMP and have bailed out to mid. Now they've got eliminations to work with. Looks like they're going to force this to B. Nice damage coming through, but you need to keep the EMP in hand over the last second. CleanX trying to slide around as he gets
Primary weapon. He prefers to run around with the pistol, and now this is looking like an opportunity for OpTic to potentially get score number 3. Go trade for trade, you still have the map position that you want. You just need to find a couple extra.
What a haze.
This might be the push.
Yeah, I mean, the spawns for Toronto all the way down towards A, so these defenders are just not in position. Dashy will score. But there's got to be some sort of a question here in the comments from OpTic. Where are Toronto? Because we've only seen 2 of them twice now, so you're still wondering, where are these other 2 members? How far are they on the pitch? You've already taken down CleanX. Information on Joe, this should be a finish off, and now you've got a chance to just run another one in.
I'm just watching that minimap the entire time. The only player who can make a play is Mercules, keeping the EMP safe. He had to watch 2 different angles in that pinch, but somehow, some way, Insight finds an angle.
Dashy going to the Hellstorm will allow Shotzzy to isolate a 1v1, grab and try to go, but there's enough support here for Hook to finish things off. That will eventually lead to the 4th score, yes. Now a 2-goal lead for OpTic with under 2 minutes to play. It's go time for Toronto.
And they have 2 players in a position off of the respawn to try to hold down that side of the map. They both fall. 3 in the feed for Koi. This is crystal clear to get score number 3 on the board. 1:45 to go with reset at mid.
Long route being developed for OpTic out of Hook. Shotzzy was trying to join him, but CleanX shuts that down. Good damage on the Hook on the flank. CleanX just going to go ahead and take his advantage and grab the EMP. You still have a couple of players who are guarding over here towards the A side of the map. Joe Deceives in particular just has to hold his life. Pistol works out for CleanX, and it's a 4-4 game. 1:20 on the clock. The EMP will reset up top, but Toronto find kills. They should be able to contest.
And that's 3 dead as well. So now it's all on Dashy. can't run out of P4. You were forced to give up this score for free. 3 in a row for Boyd. They got the lead.
You do have mid-map control for OpTic, trying to set something up around the next EMP location. Joe, up and over, 3 in a row for him. But OpTic come away with 3 straight kills. They've got a free pathway to rise through. Are we choking? What are we talking about? It's just counter snapping for counter count. 5-5, 45 seconds. This out. Trades coming through. Kilke's starting to look good for OpTic. Do they want to try to make a play for a score, or do you let this 20-second split out and you play a 4v4 with map positioning? Their call.
Shotzi is just going to take an extra layer. Unfortunately, get caught, but it's probably going to come down to an overtime. Boy actually put the EMP in their possession, or Fleet's just going to die at the right time. So it's going to be a 4v4.
TDM. 1 life remains for all 8 players. Later the clock goes, and Toronto is going to just back off and not try to give anything away. Oh! I'm going to say OpTic could just grab the EMP and run away, but now it's going to force the transfer in 3v3. Shotzi on the flank, but Kips is going to get a read onto it. Joe trying to put some pressure, but here it comes. Kleenex on the side, he's going to blindside Shotzi, but Kips also falls. A 2v2, 60 seconds on the clock, and watch out for Dashy. Oh my goodness, does he have the timing? Down low towards window, finds one, and it's on the Kleenex. He has been everything from Toronto in this map, and would have to win things on a huge 1v1 win. 50 seconds.
45 seconds left to go, and Kleenex might put himself in a position.
Does he commit to it, Mercules? Oh, that slide.
He sees it, he's hot here.
He's just gonna grab it and score! There's no way Kleenex gets back in time, surely not! Does he have anything? No, he doesn't! And Mercules with the win!
How you doing?
Amazing. We're in UK, man. I love it.
Yeah. And what's it like being back in the UK after 6 long years of no CDL here?
Say again?
What's it like being back in the UK after 6 years of no CDL here?
Yeah, honestly, last time I remember, the food was terrible, but hey, this time around, I actually enjoy the food. So, I like the food. I like it now. I like it.
Shotzi, the crowd were on your side for a moment. You had a cheeky Nando's, didn't you?
Yeah, the Nando's is amazing. We love Nando's.
What was in the order?
I got the sweet hot chili.
Ooh, oh, what kind of hot sauce guy are you? What kind of level?
I actually didn't get any sauce.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like sauce.
We've got to move on. Let's actually talk about some Call of Duty, shall we? So in terms of the respawn modes, you guys look dominant, and yet when you look at the scoreline, it actually seemed like it was a little bit close between you and Koi at times. Can you talk me through that?
Yeah, we kind of just want to make it interesting for the fans, to be honest. No, but honestly, joking around, they played good. Fixing up a couple things. I think we played G2, so yeah, looking forward for that.
Do you think Koi is a team that we can see make some progress through the lower bracket?
Yeah, I mean, ever since they added Kips, I feel like they've been slowly getting there. This is one of those things where they're playing against a really tough team, so I feel like they'll maybe make a run. We'll see.
And how do you rate Kips' first LAN performance in CDL so far?
Oh, this is his first one?
This is his first CDL LAN, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he got 3-0'd, but it was good.
Fair enough, yeah. Let's cut the analyst desk and move on really to OpTic and your, I guess, fortunes in Split 2, because it's nearly been flawless. And I have a sneaking suspicion the reason you dropped a series against Falcons in week 6 is because you were testing some of your weaker maps. Is that right?
You could say that. We were testing map pools because obviously we're in the winners. We had seed 1 guaranteed, so we kind of were like, let's just veto what we normally wouldn't. So, Falcons played good though. They played great. I was looking forward to playing this weekend, but I guess they lost, so we'll get it next time.
Is it going to be a 3-0 now all the way to the final?
No. I can't say that. It'll be a good series from here on out.
And for you, knowing that you're the favourites here, clearly you have so many fans here to watch you in Birmingham. Does that help you, or does that pile on extra pressure? Because you don't want to be second place this time.
Yeah, we love the green wall. Any fans that shout us out, we love you guys. You guys truly make this a blessing, and I truly appreciate you guys, seriously.
And do you want to give a shout out to the watch party home? I know Scump and the boys are cheering you on.
Say.
Scump and the boys are cheering you on. Have you got any words for them?
Oh, we love Scump, Hector, Zinni, Bose, the entire watch party, the entire OpTic office, all of them. Appreciate you guys, and yeah, go OpTic.
Well, Shotzi, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here in Birmingham. Thank you for talking to me. Please, Green Wall, show your appreciation.
Thank you guys.
Great stuff there from Shotzi. A little slight shade thrown to the Falcons. We expected to play them, but I guess they lost. A good matchup here. They said they were playing with their food. A bit of fun for the fans. What do you see in that match?
A bit of fun for the fans.